So you had kind of an interesting thing. You weren't sure when you came in where you're going to play. You could play to either side of the ball or quarterback, and now kind of settled back to what you did in high school. How do you feel playing quarterback?
It's fun. It's great to be back playing quarterback. It's something I've done my whole life. So, I mean, I'm used to playing it. I feel at home. So, I mean, it's been fun lately for the past couple of practices.
I imagine it's kind of an interesting position for you to be in because Justin's going to be a senior, and there's no real, plan for the next guy, and you have a chance to kind of establish yourself now as a potential long-term replacement for Justin. Is that kind of fun part of it?
Oh yeah, competing with Matt Jordan and other guys, it's real fun knowing that I have a chance to, step in next year and be that guy or be the next up. So it's fun going out there every day, competing with everybody, and just having fun while I'm doing it.
I know you talked about not playing with the ball, and that was different for you last year. I imagine it's a little more fun now, having the ball in your hands every play and having a chance to be the one that makes the decision on where it goes and making those reads and all that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely fun being able to have the ball in my hands every play and being able to decide whether I can keep it or pitch it, show the A-back some love or show the B-back some love or be able to sling it around a little bit. So it's definitely fun being able to, control that and have the ball in my hands every play.
When you first came here, I know there was talk, you knew there might be a possibility of making this move. When did you first hear that you were going to make the move?
One day, it was after the first scrimmage, Coach Johnson called me up to his office and he just told me that, he wanted to move me to quarterback. And, I was just like, yes, sir. He was like, yeah, we talked about it during recruiting. So, I mean, it wasn't a shock to me. I mean, I knew it was going to eventually come.
You knew it was a possibility, yeah.
In terms of throwing the ball, people have talked about you have a pretty good arm and have looked, good in that aspect. Do you feel like that's something that maybe can separate you a little bit from some of the other guys you're competing with?
I mean, everybody out Brady, Chase, Matt, Smooth, they all have nice arms. I mean, I don't think it's something that can separate me, but if I'm putting it on the money and Coach likes it, hey, I'll take it as a plus.
Has it been a little interesting with all the offensive line injuries? I imagine you have a patchwork group at times out in front of you to work with, and that's probably not necessarily the best, experience for a guy. And Coach said you're running for your life occasionally out there. Has that kind of been a little bit of an interesting part of this part?
Yeah, a little. I mean, we have some new guys on the offensive line, so they're still learning just like I am at quarterback. So, sometimes the plays are busted up, and I try to do my best to, make something happen. But I'm not going to blame them. I mean, those are the guys that are blocking for me, so they're learning as well as I am. So, hey, I still pat them on the back and say, hey, you're still doing good. Keep protecting me as much as you can. So it's no downfall on them. I mean, they're still learning. So,
what part of moving to quarterback is come maybe not easily, but maybe quicker, and what part is maybe tougher to get a grip on?
The scheme itself is different than what I was in high school. So being up under center every play and the read is a whole lot faster than it was in high school since I was in the gun.
Right.
So that's really the hardest part, just getting the read down and just picking up the defenses and making sure I'm pulling it when I need to and giving it when I need to.
Is there a part that's easier for you that you did a little more?
I mean, just my athleticism at quarterback it's kind of natural, so that's probably the easiest part. I mean, everything else I'm just kind of grasping day by day and just taking it in as it comes.
What's the best piece of advice anyone's given you so far, or instruction in all of this, whether it's Coach Cook or Tevin or JT or whoever?
Everybody's really just telling me to relax. They know I played quarterback in high school, so they're just telling me, use your ability like you did in high school. Just relax and just have fun with it, really. Because if you're having fun, then you're not thinking too much and you won't make that mistake. Maybe it'll just come natural and just play.
Did you play quarterback at all when you got here in camp, or did you start out at A-back?
I started out at A-back.
Yeah. When Coach Johnson said, you're going to go back to quarterback, what was your emotional reaction? What were you thinking?
At first, as soon as he told me, I had to call my dad. I was like, Dad, Coach Johnson said he wanted to move me to quarterback. And at first, I was like, because I was getting real comfortable at A-back, so I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be a big change. But then the first day out at quarterback, I made a couple of big plays, and it kind of reminded me of high school. I was like, okay, this I can deal with this. I like this right here.
I imagine it probably started to pop through your head when Christian moved, and then you see Matt get hurt in the first scrimmage, and they probably started to think they're running low on numbers. It might happen now.
Yeah, I mean, when I found out Christian was moving, I was like, okay, well they're getting kind of short at quarterback, and I know we have 2 recruits coming in this class that are going to be quarterbacks. So then, but when Matt got hurt, I was like, oh, okay, so now we only have 1 guy really that's on scholarship. So I was like, okay, well, some questions, like some things are starting to pop up in my head. So when Coach Johnson called me up to, like as soon as he called me and up to his office, I already knew what it was about. So I mean, it wasn't a surprise.
So you're taking all the number 2 reps now, or how is that breaking up?
Me and Matt are going back and forth with the 2s, and sometimes I go with the 1s, and he'll go with the 1s.
Anything else?
All right, thanks.